Geeks Worldwide, welcome back to another episode of the Capes Crew podcast. It is Monday night, July 10th, and I'm excited to be back with my main man, the numero uno, the one and only, Mr. Casey, the Comics Kid Walsh. Casey, how you doing tonight, man?
Hello. Casey's not here today. Today it's Tom Holland instead. I heard you guys were talking about my favorite movie, Spider-Man Homecoming, so I thought I'd come on and chat Spider-Man with you. Will Elizondo, how are you doing today, mate?
Oh, Tom, I didn't tell the listeners you were going to be on because we didn't know if we were going to get you. I've been going through all these channels, jumping through all these hoops, trying to get you on, man. But thank you for coming on. I'm great. I'm extra good now that I get to talk to you after seeing Spider-Man Homecoming this weekend. Tom, how you feeling after the success of your movie?
I'm feeling really, really good, Mr. Elizondo. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of crazy stuff happening around me. I cried a little, I laughed a little. It's just been a fantastic good time.
So Tom, I got to tell you, man, you did a phenomenal job of being both Peter and Spider-Man, which I don't feel like some of your predecessors pulled off as expertly as you did. What do you think made your performance stand out different from those other guys?
Well, I'm just a young boy trying to live a dream here, and I finally get to live my dream of being Spider-Man and climbing on walls and shooting my webs. And I just had so much fun playing the character, and I had a blast. And Toby and Andrew are great kids. They're great guys. I have a lot of respect for them. But you know what? I just love Spider-Man and being Spider-Man, and I can't wait to be Spider-Man some more.
What you got like 3 more films of Spider-Man, right? I mean, you're just at the top of the iceberg right now, man. Like, what do you hope happens for your next go around in Spider-Man?
Well, again, I really just hope we get to explore the character more and explore Peter growing up more. I think that's what a lot of the fans kind of related to was me being just a young Peter Parker and high school in America and just having fun and meeting girls and being a nerd. And all the things that kind of come along with being Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
All right, Tom. So we know you're busy, and we know you have a lot to do, but not to pull any of the spotlight away from you. But I got to ask you, Tom, what was it like working with Robert Downey Jr.?
Robert, Mr. Downey Jr. He's such a good mate. We have a great time together. He taught me so much. I learned so much from him. I had a really good time hanging out with him, and we went to shawarma one time. It was great. I just can't say enough about Mr. Downey and how much I love him and how much I can't wait to work with him again.
Oh, Tom, you know what, man? I'm glad to hear that, and we got to say thank you one more time, and we are super excited about your success of the film, and we hope for more future success with you as a Spider-Man in the MCU. So thanks for coming on, my friend, and we hope you take care and best of luck.
Thank you so much, Will, for having me on, and thank you, Casey, for letting me come by. We are good mates, me and Casey. So when he said he was going to talk about my film Spider-Man, I said, let me come on your podcast and say a little few words to your fans. And I wanted to say I thank you and I appreciate everyone going out. #1 movie this summer, Spider-Man Homecoming. Go see it again. And I can't wait to be back for Avengers Infinity War.
Oh, excellent. Thanks, Tom. You take care, man.
You too, Will. Good day, mate.
Gosh, man, that guy's awesome. Once we get Casey back on, we're gonna have to ask him how you pulled that off, man. I don't even know what happened there. I wasn't expecting that. Hey, Casey, you back with us yet, man?
I'm here. I'm back.
Oh, dude, how did you make that happen? Tom was very cool.
I took a trip to England a few years ago, and we just kind of ran into each other on the street, and we became mates. And I asked him to go. I went and saw the movie. We were texting back and forth. I know long distance charges are unbelievable, but it's Tom Holland. I mean, you can't say no, right? So
hey, sometimes you got to do it, man. I feel like it's very appropriate that I've got my signed Tom Holland Spider-Man pop right here that I just put in this nice case, and then you bring him on the show, man.
He's a super cool guy, and he said he wanted to come on and just talk to you all. So I was like, hey, I'm not going to deny you. I'm not going to deny the Spider-Man a chance to come on to our podcast. So more power, all the power to him, and thanks, Tom, for showing up.
Yeah, serious, man. So Casey, obviously, obviously a big fan of the new movie. Tell me your initial thoughts, man, on the movie.
I loved it more than anything, maybe.
Yeah,
and I just had a baby,
I was
everybody.
I was most excited to get your reaction about the movie because I know how big of a Spider-Man fan that you've been for a very long time, and how much you appreciate the character, and your we'll say your emotional investment to the character. Did it live up to those expectations that you may or may not have had?
It has. It's so great. I've seen it twice now. I just loved it.
Yes.
Immensely. I think it just nails everything that's important and cool about Spider-Man. I think Tom Holland just knocks it out of the park as Peter Parker and as Spider-Man. And there's really so little wrong with the movie. And after going back and watching the Raimi films or the god awful Spider-Man ones, like this just blows them out of the park. And I can't wait for like Spider-Man to become the remember when the first Spider-Man movie came out and he was just fucking everywhere and like people couldn't get enough. I can't wait for people to treat Tom Holland that way because I just think he's so good at what he does. And like there's a specific scene in that movie where we're going to talk full spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, just turn this off right now. Right. But I think there's a specific scene in that movie where he's just an acting tour de force. And if it weren't a Spider-Man movie, if it were like anything else, that he may get an Oscar just based on that scene alone. But it's
probably my favorite scene too. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's where he's in the concrete structure and he had just fought the Vulture and he's like, yeah, you can't hit me. And then but the whole building falls on him.
Right.
And then he kind of has that panic moment of like, hey, he's a 15-year-old boy trapped in this like situation that he can't get out of, and he's like scared and he's crying for help. And he can't, and there's nothing he can do. And then he finally sees that mask in the water, and he's like, "Fuck this! I'm fucking Spider-Man." And he kind of has that moment. And he's like, "I am better than the mat. I am better than the suit." And he lifts himself up and goes and saves the day. I think that
scene, man, was like so just like it had you. It was a gut-wrenching, like just like deep rooted, like heartfelt, like that was like his superhero like make or break moment. That was like almost like if we were putting him to the real like, do you have the chops to be a superhero? That was the moment right there. I mean, when he was like crying and screaming and calling out for somebody to help him, I mean, like you just wanted to go in the movies and help him, you know what I mean? Like it was he played that scene so well. Like that moment alone right there to me completely sold me with his take on Spider-Man and Peter Parker. Like you said, like just an acting tour de force moment there. I think that was something he definitely did that other movies didn't have. You know, that really heart gut-wrenching moment that really just kind of made you invest in the character immediately right there. And I think that was an amazing choice from the writers and the directors to put that scene in the movie.
Yeah, and it's really a shame too, because like I said, it's such a great acting moment. Maybe one of the better acting moments in all of comic book movies.
Yeah.
He just won't ever get recognized for it.
Right.
Outside of a couple of bozos on a podcast talking about it. But like, you know what I mean? Like I just really want that movie to just do so well and succeed. And it is. So I guess there's not too much I have to worry about.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's what did they say? It hit like 120 million or something like that for its opening weekend.
Yeah, I think 117, 120.
Yeah,
it's a massive opening. I think it's just behind like Beauty and the Beast and oh my god, something else.
Wonder Woman, I think was the other.
No, it's not Wonder Woman. It's another movie there that would make total sense.
Guardians, wasn't it?
Guardians, yeah, that's what it was. So it's just behind Guardians and Wonder Woman. So, or not, I mean, again, Beauty and the Beast. So yeah, so I think they just really knocked it out of the park, and I really just have really very few things to say bad about the movie. I thought Michael Keaton was amazing.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah. Now I was going to ask you. That was my next question. I know that you know something that gets I guess we'll say frowned upon a lot in Marvel movies is the lack of a solid villain. How do you think Michael Keaton as the Vulture stood up in that category in this film?
I think he killed it, honestly. Like, and the reason that he's such a cool villain is because he's like a working class villain. You know what I mean? Like, he is like the criminals in Heat. Like, it's his job. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't like it's he does it every day. He's been doing it for 8 years, like off under the radar, like no one's fucking seen him or seen it. You know what I mean? He's been doing it this whole time. And it just took this little boy to come in here and kind of like mess up his whole like deal he had going on. And like he didn't want to be a bad guy. He was just put in those circumstances. Like even that moment where he kills like the first Shocker, he's like, oh shit, like I didn't mean, like he didn't mean to do that. You know what I mean? He just like grabbed the wrong gun or whatever. So I really like that aspect of it.
Yeah, the scene where he's where he's in the car with Peter, and he basically says like, this is my family. This is what I do for my family. They come first, and basically if you get in the way of that, I'll kill you. That was kind of like that was a very definitive, like you said, a working class villain who really has something to lose. He's not on a power trip to conquer Earth or something crazy like that. He's for him it's a totally different reason for his being a villain. Like you said, he's not a bad guy. He's just doing what he can to survive in the new world and the way things have changed after the events of the Battle of New York and all those other things that have gone on in the MCU.
Yeah, I think Marvel has really kind of so far have solved their villain problem ever since Civil War. And I know people will be like, well, what about Doctor Strange? Like, Calculus was not the villain in that movie. He was just a guy who was the road to the villain. You know what I mean? Like, and
he was kind of like a pawn to the to the main bad guy.
And the main bad guy that scene is so goddamn cool. Like it's hard not to love it or deny like how good it is. So I just really think that they've kind of got that villain kind of thing down a little bit. Oh, sorry, I have a baby with me. She's not happy.
That's okay.
I think they finally kind of have learned the villain thing, and we're gonna start seeing better villains come out of it. Because Ego was cool. Zemo was great. Like I said, Dormammu and the Calculus, the combination of them was very cool. So I kind of think with the Vulture and kind of his like grounded working class thing, and that's also what I hope we get from Spider-Man, because I think they kind of teased that like the future of his franchise at the end of the movie, where Vulture's in the prison and he talks to the Scorpion Mac Gargan or whatever, and he's like. And Gagan's like, oh, I have other guys that want to like slit his throat and stuff. So like, you know what I mean? That tells me like he's a it's always going to be ground level with him. There's never going to be like this, this New York destroying event that he's going to have to go and stop. You know what I mean? And that's what I really love about Spider-Man.
Yeah. What would you say was your favorite action sequence of the film?
Oh man, I don't know. Is this cheating by saying the beginning?
No.
I really love like the Peter Parker movie, and again, so relatable. Like every kid that age now is making a YouTube video, and the fact that movie just opens with him making a YouTube video about his experience, being like an Avenger, quote unquote, and then going and fighting the Civil War and all that, and everything in between. It's so fucking spot on and so amazing. And then kind of seeing that fight.
And it was also really cool that you got to see kind of like what was going on the other side of the whole thing in Civil War when he got introduced.
Yeah, and Happy having to kind of like deal with him and being like upset. Like, I had to chase around this 15-year-old boy like all day long. You know what I mean? So I really kind of enjoyed that aspect. I know technically it's not an action scene. I really kind of love the ending fight with the Vulture, that kind of plane sequence where they're kind of steal the stuff from Avengers Tower or whatever. I just love the Vulture's design, like his suit design and like the helmet and the flight jacket. Every time that he's on screen, I could just watch a whole movie of him just flying around stealing stuff, I think. So that was really cool. And then the way that it ends with him kind of saving Michael Keaton, which here's my biggest. Okay. If you want to know what the biggest difference between the DCU is and the MCU, if that same exact fight happened in the DCU, Michael Keaton dies at the end of that fight. Like Batman doesn't save him, Superman doesn't save him,
Superman laser beams him in the head.
Wonder Woman doesn't save him, but like it was very important to Peter to not let Liz's dad die. And I think and it carries over. Like like him not killing Michael Keaton allowed Michael Keaton kind of have some kind of remorse for him or sympathy.
Right. Yeah. This. That was that and the boat scene, of course, was mine. So the
boat. Yes, the boat scene. I also really liked the Washington D.C. scene. I thought was really well done. Him kind of like shit, I cannot climb this thing fast enough. Him kind of like having to scale the monument.
And
You know what?
then kind of hesitating when he got to the top, and he was kind of like, "Oh shit,
Yeah,
this
he
is
was
really
scared,
high."
and that's I think that one thing that this movie did so well is like he's 15 years old. Like I think it's one of the other things that the Raimi movies and Amazing Spider-Man just never touch on. That guy just when he's Spider-Man, he doesn't care. Like he's balls to the wall. There's no fear in him. But like Holland
Right.
seemed like he was scared at every moment, like he was doing this stuff, and I think that
Yeah.
that really came across very well, especially in, like I said, in
Mhm.
the scene where he's getting crushed, and then the scene, where he's trying to save his classmates.
Yeah. I think another thing that really sold the film overall to me was the fact that Tom Holland was so much younger than the other guys that have played Spider-Man, and I mean it was really
Fun fact: how old
believable.
do you think Tom Holland is?
He's 20, right?
21.
He's 21.
He
Yeah.
looks 12.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, even then, you'd still he could pass for like 16.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like, unlike Tobey Maguire, who looked 30, like he
Yeah,
looks the part, and I think that's so important. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Absolutely, I agree. What was I going to ask you? The choice to really do a different take on Flash Thompson. What was your thoughts on that?
I was fine with it. I don't think they're gonna do anything with that character. Like, I don't think they're gonna expand him into a Flash Venom movie. I thought one thing I really noticed though, and I think it's kind of a good thing, but I don't really see anybody praising the film for it. That may be one of the most diverse movies I've ever seen, let alone comic book movies I've ever seen.
Right.
Like, in fact, I want to say the only white people in it were Peter and Tony, and Happy, and everyone else was like of some type of different ethnicity or race or gender,
Correct.
or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it showed really well the diversity of New York. I think it showed really well. So yeah, it was.
Yeah. It made sense to have these kids, in Queens, going to a scientific technical school, that they would all be very diversified. They wouldn't all be white.
Right. Yeah. Like what? Yeah. And I just felt like, why is nobody talking about this? It's so gleamingly obvious how diverse everyone is.
Yeah, I agree. It's God, man, I wanted to go see it again. I saw it 1.5 times, if that makes any sense.
How did you see it 1.5 times?
Well, I went with some friends who usually get contracted by the theater to do costume character appearances for the big superhero movies, and after we do that, we usually get to go see the movie afterwards for free, and but they ended up putting us at like a 10:45 showing, and I'd been out all day. Buying my car on Friday, and so I hadn't really been home to rest. And my wife was just like, about midnight, she was like, "I'm falling asleep. Let's go home." I was like, "Yeah, it's fine." So
you walked out of the movie?
Yeah, I made it to the boat, and then we left.
Oh man,
I made it to after the boat.
Spider-Man walkout. I bet the people behind you like, what is this guy doing?
Well, luckily I was in the VIP balcony area where there's only like 10 seats, and it was just us. So,
Wait, what theater has a VIP balcony in the area?
The Maya in the big MPX theater.
I don't know. I don't go to that one anymore because they don't
look way in the corner.
Reserve my seat.
Oh, if you go way in the corner of that theater, there's a balcony with like 10 seats.
Did you know that Sierra Vista one has wine and beer now?
I heard.
Oh yeah,
I heard, man.
I went and saw my movie at like 10:30 in the morning, and I got a big glass of wine too.
Yeah, that's right. Because this here is Spider-Man.
Yeah, I was like, is this too early for this? Probably, but I'm at a movie, and it's the first time I've been here where they sold alcohol, so I'm gonna take advantage. Yeah. But it's probably a little early for a glass that big of a glass of wine.
That's cool, man. Don't worry about it. You're good. You have 2 kids now. You deserve a glass of wine whenever.
Yeah, one of them was with me too. Definitely needed it.
Yes.
That's another thing too. I think this movie is so family friendly. Like, you can take anybody to see it, any age. I don't think there's any problem with taking a young kid to see it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I've been kind of seeing like all these these talks about like, oh, Sony's like second biggest Spider-Man. I'm like, honestly, I don't think that movie was successful because of Sony.
100% it was not successful because of Sony. In fact, Sony had no decision making anything in the process whatsoever. I think the only thing they had say on was casting, and even then I think Marvel had final say on the casting.
Final say.
In fact, there's all these rumors of like Sony's like, oh, they're making a Venom movie and they're gonna make a Black Cat and and someone else movie. What's the other female Spider-Man character?
Like Silk or something like that.
Silver Sable. They're gonna make a Black Cat and Silver Sable movie, and I'm like, no, they're not.
Oh yeah, that's
They're gonna make $1 billion off Spider-Man Homecoming, and they're like, we're just gonna give all these to Marvel, and then let Marvel make the movies, and we'll just collect the checks. Because why would they like take the risk? Like, if like literally they all they had to do was give Marvel the okay. Marvel wrote the script, produced the movie, hired everybody, and they sat back and are collecting the bankroll on it. So, it makes more sense for them to do that than try to muddle their universe with Venom and Black Cat and Silver Sable movies.
Yeah, I agree. How did you feel about the Captain America cameos?
The best thing ever. Like oh man, the end credit scene of him being like the virtue of patience is so great.
Right.
And part of me wants to believe that was just like that was actually Chris Evans talking, just being like, I'm sick of doing these. Can we just can we wrap it up here?
Please.
And they just kept the camera rolling. But I don't think that's the case at all.
Yeah.
But
I love the one where they're in the gym and he's like, and me and your friend, your coach, and he like points to this side and the coach is on the other side of the TV.
Yeah, and then he's like,
hi.
I'm pretty sure that guy's a war criminal now, but whatever. We have to watch this video.
We gotta show these films anyways.
Oh man, that'd be like us showing like a video of like, I don't know, who's like a US, like a Snowden, like PSA before like all of our classes.
Yeah, you're like, what's going on? This is weird. What? Just a great movie all around, man, and I'm really glad that they. I know there was a lot of like, when we first heard that was going to be another Spider-Man franchise, people were like, oh, we're so sick of seeing Peter Parker, and why can't we get something different? And I think they made this film so unique and special that everybody's now just forgotten about that. We're like, can we have more Spider-Man?
Yeah, it's such a Spider-Man comic come to life. Like everything about it from beginning to end, that is a Spider-Man comic. It's jumpy, it's fun. There's going to be like an emotional breakdown moment. There's going to be an intense, like scary moment. But at the end of the day, it's bright, it's colorful, and it's Spider-Man having fun and saving people and doing what he does best. And like I said, I think that the strongest moments in that movie is when he's just being your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He's saving the guy on the bike, or he's mistakenly stopping a car thief who's not a car thief.
Or he's helping an old lady who's lost and she bought him a churro.
Yeah, like all those moments, I just loved all that stuff. And then finally he gets his moment where he has to like go and stop the big bad guy and the one guy, and this is my kind of gripe of the movie. Tony Stark has no room to tell anybody they fucked up on anything. Like that guy is it should have been Captain America. Maybe it should have been his mentor. And the reason they can't do that is because he's a war criminal or whatever. So I get that.
Right.
Or maybe Daredevil should have like showed up and been like, hey, like here's how you do it, kind of thing. But the fact that like Iron Man is like your like here's how to be a hero guy.
Right.
I don't know, buddy. Like half of the problems that the MCU is in is really because of you and your.
But see,
I
think he knows he's fucked up, and that's why he's kind of like trying to hold him to a different standard. I think.
He does say that line where like you're supposed to be better than me. Like you were, like, you're not supposed to be better. You're supposed to be better. So.
Yes. I
do think the trailers did a great job of misleading people, though. Like, because everyone's like, "Oh, it's going to be Iron Man 4. It's going to be Spider-Man and Iron Man." He's in that movie for 5 fucking minutes. Yeah. So like total runtime, like maybe 8 minutes. Maybe that's nothing. That's stretching it. And there's so much more to that movie that's just so good.
So on the side of things, besides Spider-Man in the movie, and of course I'm talking about Iron Man, what about fucking Pepper just coming out of nowhere all of a sudden? Like,
yeah, I want to know how much that cost. Like,
man,
like Paltrow isn't Paltrow, whatever how you're saying it. Goop
Paltrow,
isn't cheap.
Yeah. I mean, the fucking door open and she walks in. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
it's Pepper.
Like, you want to pay me $500,000 for 4 hours of work? Sure. Happy to do it.
Sure, why not?
And also, they just throw away like an engagement. Like, apparently, they're engaged now. Is that like, are they engaged? Like, are we going to see more of that? Like, what's going on here?
Is Pepper back for good? Are we going to see her in Infinity War? What's the deal here?
I think she is in Infinity War for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. That movie is so it's so MCU heavy.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
I just don't think Sony could have made that movie no matter how hard they tried.
Right.
Because, I mean, everything hinges on basically the Battle of New York.
It's true. Yeah.
Like without that happening, there is no Vulture, there is no Spider-Man movie. So
All right.
I just loved how everything was so like MCU heavy. Like the weapons they used, the Chitauri armor, all that shit was just like in the film from beginning to end, and I loved it. It was just so heavy in the lore. It was really great.
Dude, fucking Iron Spider suit.
Yeah,
what
about
that, man.
I don't know. Okay, I wouldn't call it. I don't know if I'd call it the Iron Spider suit. I would just say I would maybe call it an upgrade. I mean, because the Iron Spider is very specific in like its capabilities.
You talk about the one with the spider legs.
Yeah, it has like legs, and it's very red and gold, and that suit was kind of very much reminiscent of his suit, but it was just like shiny and armor like. Kind of, I feel like it was more like his like a kind of a take on his oh my gosh, not Spider Island, but there was like a storyline. I think it was called End of the Earth or something, where he like donned like a very like armory kind of like suit like that. But yeah, the coloring and kind of like the gold, and yeah, I get where people want to say that. I think that's the suit he will wear in Infinity War. That's why we see him in like a mocap suit instead of like the Spider-Man spandex. Sure. So I think we'll see that suit in action really, really soon. But I want like a real Iron Spider suit with like the legs and like gold eyes and all that stuff.
What if that has him in the back, man?
I mean, I am sure like there is a moment in Infinity War where like 4 legs pop out or 3 legs pop out or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, what's this?" Or you know what I mean? Like,
boom,
whatever. So I can't wait to watch that movie again. I really can't.
Yeah, I loved his scenes with Karen, with him trying to figure out all the new things on his suit. I thought those scenes were great.
Yeah. It is weird though that Tony would enable a kill mode for a 15-year-old boy to have, but.
Well, you know, he probably wasn't supposed to find that till later, but
also weird that Ned could seemingly hack Stark Tech pretty easily.
Right.
Like no problem.
Like whatsoever. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
It's like fucking Tony Stark, one of the biggest geniuses in the MCU. I'll hack his shit right now. Here we go.
But another thing that movie nails is how smart Peter is, and like him kind of figuring out the bomb thing and the X-ray, him making his own web fluid. Like that scene in the lab or whatever, and him kind of like
where he's just mixing it in his little drawer in the bottom.
Yeah, and it like explodes. Him like figuring out that math problem really quickly when he was like watching his own YouTube video or whatever. There's so little bad to say about the film, so I mean we should go into what we didn't like about the movie, and then
go ahead, man.
So I think my really only flaw with the movie is it tries too hard with the Easter eggs. I think.
Okay.
Like I felt like I liked Donald Glover's character, but I didn't really feel like he was necessary at all to that movie. His only really like role is to like get him to the boat, I guess, and to like hint at Miles Morales.
Right.
But other than that, he really serves no purpose, and he plays kind of like this weird. It feels stereotypical thuggish character. I don't know. It just didn't feel very Donald Glover-y to me.
Sure.
So I'm really hoping that character gets fleshed out and we do like get a proper like Prowler introduction maybe in the sequel. I also felt the MJ thing was so fucking dumb. Like why even do that? Why not just make her Michelle? Why not call her Gwen? Give her a different name completely. Like just saying they call me MJ is just a reference. She's not Mary Jane. They've come out and said she's not Mary Jane.
Yeah, they just said it's more of an homage to Spider-Man's past storylines or whatever, which is
right.
Kinda,
so
I agree with you. I was kind of like,
so why? I felt Zendaya's character was kind of. I don't really know what the point of her was.
Yeah.
Other than to set up the fact that she was supposed to be MJ I feel like they did. I feel like it got out that she was MJ, and they're like, oh shit, we better fucking change this real fast, or you know what I mean. I just don't know what the point of her being named Michelle is and why she's even there, really. Other than to be a future love interest for Peter.
Yeah, I think that's what they're gonna do with her. They're gonna make her the other MJ, the other MJ.
Yeah. So I know a weird thing like that they'll have to like fix down the line. I really like the introduction. Like there's so many like Spider-Man characters in the movie. Or villains, I'd say. You get Shocker, you get Tinkerer, you get Vulture, you get Scorpion, and technically none of those guys are gone. Like they're all around and still around and could come back. And in fact, I think what the sequel will be, you can tell me what you think.
Just gonna ask you that.
Yeah, I think what the sequel will be is I think Mac will get out of prison. He'll kind of go do like a heist or whatever. He'll get a suit maybe from Osborn or someone who's replaced the Vulture in the arms dealing business. He'll get the Scorpion suit. He'll go try to do something. Spider-Man will stop him. He'll be like, screw this. And then he'll call those friends he was referring to, and they'll be like either Kraven or Mysterio. So we'll get like, or maybe he calls in Kraven and is like, I know a guy who can take care of this. He's a expert, like assassin or whatever. And they'll call him like Kraven the Hunter.
Sure.
And that'll be the villain. I really think it's going to be Scorpion and Kraven or Mysterio. I think Kraven is going to be the safe bet. But he's such a threatening character.
Right.
And I think he would fit in this world perfectly, especially like I said, if these villains know that Spider-Man exists and they need some way to stop him now, why not hire a hunter to hunt the ultimate prey or whatever? And I think that'd be a super fun movie.
Right.
Is to have like Spider-Man stopping these minor villains while this big bad is hunting him in the background in the shadows. So that's where I think they'll go with the villain. And I think in Spider-Man 3, they'll bring back Vulture, they'll bring back Scorpion, they'll bring back whatever villains they had in Spider-Man 2. Doc Ock will show up, Osborn, and they'll kind of form a Sinister Six per se.
Yeah. The whole thing with I don't know if it's even a big plot detail for future movies or not, and I've already read a couple theories online, but who do you think was buying the Avengers Tower?
Oh, I think Osborn's buying it.
You think it's Oscorp?
Absolutely. Yeah. You don't sell Avengers Tower and not have some reputable. You don't do it in a Spider-Man movie and not have it be Oscorp.
You're right.
Or it could be, what's the other Spider-Man company? It's like Alchemax or something. There's another like Spider-Man company too. I think it's Alchemax or something like that. I should know this. But it's actually a Spider-Man 2099 thing. Okay. And it's kind of the company that proceeds into that universe. So I really think that they're setting up for Osborn to come in there and kind of buy it up. And like I said, kind of replace the Vulture in the arms dealing of arms or specialty arms or whatever. Yeah. That's how you'll get your villains from now on.
Yeah, agreed. So Casey, before we round out the Spider-Man Homecoming talk, what would you rate Spider-Man Homecoming on our good old G-dubs scale?
It's a 9.5 easy for me. And like I said, my only gripes with it were just the need to like shoehorn in some Easter eggs in the MJ thing. Other than that, it's really my top. It's in my top 5 of Marvel movies at this point. And if they continue this trend, it's gonna be really hard to beat Phase 3 or whatever. Phase 2? Are we in Phase 2 still? Phase 3?
I think we're in 3.
Phase 3. It's going to be really hard to beat Phase 3 because I just think all their Phase 3 movies have been phenomenal. And this is and Thor Ragnarok. Thor looks to be another amazing addition into the MCU. So I cannot wait for that.
Yes, I agree, man. I would give it a solid 9. It's definitely in my top 3 favorite Marvel movies now. Even if it didn't have Iron Man in it, I would still love it. If it could have been any other superhero, and I still would have loved it equally as much. And I think it's just a phenomenal.
So they said they're going to bring in another Avenger type for the sequel. Who do you think they bring in? It's not Iron Man for sure. He dies in Infinity War, by the way. I hope you're prepared for that.
Yeah.
You're prepared for that.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to. I don't know, man. That's a good one. Do you have an idea?
I mean, I want to say Cap, but I just don't know how you relate.
I feel like that's too easy.
Yeah, only because they're in New York.
Right.
I mean, Ant-Man would be fun, but I just feel like everyone's too old for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think you need to bring in another young character, but they just don't have anybody else at this point. Maybe Scarlet Witch, because they're kind of around the same age, but it's got to be Cap. I think. You got to keep kind of with the big guns, I think, and Cap makes the most sense because he's not this overpowered superhero. He's street level like Spider-Man, and he lives in New York. So
that'll probably be who it is, man.
Makes sense. Falcon as Cap.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe that's
Sam,
where
Sam
actually
Wilson Cap?
that's where they go. Yeah, I think that's where they go.
Yeah. Yeah. Training with the new Avengers.
Yeah, because I like I said, I think Cap and Iron Man, I think they're done after
Yeah. After Infinity War.
after Infinity War.
Yeah. After the ones and the twos.
Mm-hmm. I think after the ones, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, at least Iron Man. I think I just don't think that's not he want to do it anymore. But like he said, I just he wants to retire before it gets old, and I just think that's the point to do it. You know, kill him off in Infinity War, have that be the big moment, and then have everyone come back for Infinity Gauntlet to defeat Thanos.
Yes.
So I do think Infinity War is going to be their Empire Strikes Back. Like they're going to lose. Like that, they're going to all be beaten down. They're all going to get their asses kicked, and that movie ends with Thanos collecting the last gem and putting on the gauntlet.
Wow, it's going to be something, man. I can't handle that already. I'm already just not happy.
Well, too bad you're not going to San Diego Comic-Con because they're going to have an hour-and-a-half panel this year, and I guarantee you they're bringing in Infinity War footage.
Yeah.
Well, you are going to Comic-Con. Are you going?
I should be going on Saturday. I should be going on Saturday. Yeah.
All right. Well, take a camera with you.
Yeah. Yes.
A big camera.
Yes.
And walk through the camera photo area in Hall H.
Cool. There's ways to get in there.
There's ways, I've heard.
Especially well, I'm gonna have to start crawling the deep corners of the internet and find out the best way to get in without having to camp out for hours.
No, don't do that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no. Yeah, stupid. Stupid. Speaking of Spider-Man, because I haven't been on since we happened. Tom Holland was the only guy that went completely down the street signing autographs at the red carpet premiere from the movie, which is how I ended up with his autograph. And he just seemed so like genuinely excited to be there. It was so cool.
He is
like
pumped.
He was just. Yeah, he's just very like he's fist pumping. And he's like, "Oh my god, thanks for coming out, guys!" And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the movie. And I was like, "Dude, this guy's fucking awesome! Like, this is the kind of guy that should be in this universe right here."
That fool is 21 years old. He has the #1 movie in America. Probably will have for a couple weeks, and he's Spider-Man, the most iconic character in the world at this moment. Yeah, and he probably goes home and just drowns in pussy. Like just drowns.
I knew you were gonna say it. It was coming. I was like, must be hard, man. Must be hard turning it all.
It's like that scene in the movie, except just naked ladies on top of him.
Yes.
He's like, I can't get up, girls.
Yes. Too many women. Too many bloody women all over the place. Yeah, but super great guy, and it was cool. Yeah. Did you hear about the whole thing with Hannibal Buress?
Is him sending a fake person? Did you see the guy?
All right, I'm gonna tell you, man. I was probably like a good, I would say, like 300 feet from where the limos were getting out. Okay, from where I was standing.
How long did you have to wait on the sidewalk?
I think we got there at like noon, 11 or noon, and they started arriving at like 6.
Only 6 hours this time.
Yeah, I've waited longer. Okay. But I could tell from where I was standing, man, that wasn't fucking Hannibal Buress. And I was like, that doesn't look like him.
Like, people think it was?
They interviewed him like it was. Like the two gals from the big Marvel show were interviewing him, and
they were not.
Yeah, they interviewed him. You can find video of it. Yeah.
They should be fired. they were like, "Oh, Hannibal?"
Yeah. The guy that was like emceeing the event and was like making all the announcements when people would get out the limos, he was like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Hannibal Buress, coach, whatever, has just arrived." And I saw him get out. I'm like, that guy looks nothing like you, man. And then you could see and we were pretty close to where they had the stage where they took the actors up and did like the main interview before they went and talked to all the press junkets or whatever. And then you could see him on the screen. I was like, that's not Hannibal. Like. And then it was the next day when all those articles started showing up about how he paid somebody to go in his place and he fooled everybody. I was like, yeah, I don't know, people were too afraid to question it and be like,
I would have no problem questioning that. I'd be like, you're not this dude.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah, sorry.
It shows you how bad they are at their jobs, though. Like how bad those people are at those jobs and how easy it is to do. Like literally anyone can do it.
Yeah. Hey, I would have known the difference, man. I can tell you that much right now.
It's so, it'd be so frustrating for me. Like, how embarrassed are those two Marvel girls? Like, cause someone talked to them and were like, "Did you not have like a fact sheet? Did you not like IMDb the guy's face before you interviewed them? Like, what's going on here?"
Yeah, what's the deal? Yeah. But on that note, man, I think the at least as far as the Marvel premieres, I think they're starting to really. I don't want to say discourage, but yeah, I'll say discourage people from camping out. And it's like every time they have a premiere now, they seem to be putting up these like big, long, elaborate walls where you can't really see, and there's like maybe like half a block of space for people to actually see the arrivals. And I mean, I don't know what's up with that. I'm
sure that's a security thing. Like, they're worried about someone's gonna come shoot that place up. Like, to be honest,
God, man, they have so much security, man. It's ridiculous. I mean, they have cops and bomb sniffing dogs walking up and down the street. Like,
well, I mean,
it's like
they have to shut down that street and everything whenever there's a premiere there, right? Like, I'm sure it's a big ordeal and it costs a ton of money. So,
yeah, but I mean, they're gonna do that anyways, even if they don't let fans in. I mean, really, like, as far as like, really catering to like fans for red carpets, so far the ones that are doing the best are the Star Wars movies. I mean, they're like, the last two Star Wars movies, they've invited people from the 501st to like be in little like almost like little press boxes, on the actual carpet where you get to like see the stars and get autographs and shake hands with people, which I think is kind of cool. But I mean, I think it's more than just a security thing. I don't know, man. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, it's weird too because I mean, they're the same company, Disney, so you'd think they would kind of have the same policies or whatever. But I don't know. You never know. You never know. Maybe that was a Sony thing, and they're just like, we don't want this much. I don't know. Who knows? That can't be it. That cannot be it. So maybe they are fearful of just because maybe they don't want too many people gathering there because it does become a target at some point. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, the stupidest thing that happened there was, man, some fucking idiot. They were giving out the Ruby's Spiderman costume. They were just like throwing them out to the crowd, like a ton of them. They had stacks of them. My wife ended up grabbing one. But some freaking guy put one on and he climbed like a street lamp, like a lamppost. And he was like a good like 15 feet up in the air. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? And there was like a group of like 6 cops all like yelling at him to get down. And like, they couldn't reach the guy. Nobody was going to go up there after him. And the guy was up there for a good like 5-10 minutes, like as the arrivals were happening. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? So maybe it's things like that they're trying to avoid, Casey. I think that's what it is.
These people be crazy, man.
It's always one dumbass who has to ruin it for everybody. I got to tell you that.
It's always going to be one dumbass. And that's like, the thing is, our world is so sensitive now. All it takes is one dumbass, and then it's done. That's it. No more people. No more public at premieres. We're done with that.
Sorry. Yeah. If you pay your you pay your $10,000, you can get a ticket, and that's it. It's all you get. Yeah. Let's do it. But yeah, pretty still pretty cool though, man. There was a lot of they had a big interactive like Dell Interactive Center because I guess Dell provided a lot of the computers for the workstations for the film. So they had a Dell Interactive experience kind of thing. And I didn't get to check it out because I was more concerned about getting a good spot to get autographs.
Waiting in line, yeah. You're crazy.
But yeah, I know. But at least I got Tom Holland's autograph, and that was cool. I don't think I'm going to do any more campouts. I think I'm just going to freaking shell out the dough and buy RDJ's autograph online.
Did he just not do? Does he not go through the line or whatever? Or
well, he always shows up like 10 minutes before the movie's supposed to start, so he signs for like the people that are right outside the limo when he gets off, and then that's pretty much it.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, he rolls up all cool in the newest Audi from the movie, and then just signs for a few people, and then goes and talks to the press.
Is he driving or someone else driving? He's not driving, right?
No, he was driving it.
Well, who drives it away? Just sit there?
They get some other guy. As soon as he gets out, some other guy hops in and drives it away.
Oh, yeah. How would you like that job? What's your job? Oh, I just drive away Downey's Audi.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm Mr. Downey's secondary car driver.
I'm his personal valet. I just follow him around. You know. I show up like an hour before he goes somewhere, and then he just drives his car, and then I just drive it off for him. So
I saw his like Instagram story, and like they have him like they limo him to like a location where the car is waiting. They get him in the car. He drives it, which is like a block away from the premiere. Obviously, he drives it on Hollywood Boulevard to the red carpet, gets out, and then the other guy gets in. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of
because he doesn't really drive. Like, he doesn't have a driver's license, right? There's no way.
I don't know, man. He seems to like Audis a lot. I'm sure he's got one or two of them.
If I am that rich, I never am driving ever again. Like, I'm just hiring somebody to drive for me.
Especially not in LA, right?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Hire someone to drive for me so I can smoke weed in the back. Just keep going. Just keep driving.
The other big press flub related to that movie, that premiere, was when Tom Holland came, they brought him in this car that was like decked out in like spider web like paint. It like had this really cool like spider webby like paint scheme, and it had like the logo that he has on his chest, the new Spider logo, like on the sides of the doors. And there was a guy in a Spider-Man, like let's probably like the movie's costume, the Spider-Man costume, on the hood of the car. And then he like, you know, did a backflip off the hood and like was running up to the crowd and like taking selfies. And it was like the whole thing was just like a cute, like, oh, I'm Spider-Man and I'm going to get in my car and change into Tom Holland. And some like, I saw a couple like press sites reporting like Tom Holland made the greatest like entrance to the premiere as Spider-Man and then changed in the car. I'm like, really? Are you guys that stupid to think that was Tom Holland? His hair would be shot being in that mask. It wasn't Tom Holland. He was waiting in the car.
That would be cool though if he did like come up in like costume.
Yeah.
He's like, hello everybody, I'm here in the costume Spider-Man, like swinging, like.
Yeah. Because it was actually him, he would have just taken off his mask probably, and you know.
I would have.
Yeah.
If I were Spider-Man, I think I would just have like I'd just be like, just make me an extra costume. So I can just have it in my bag.
Yeah.
In case I like, go to like a mall or something.
Well, he's been doing all those like hospital visits with the children's hospital, so he must have one.
All those guys do that though, right? They all.
Yeah. It's the thing, man. It's good stuff. But
so yeah, I guess we love Spider-Man Homecoming, huh?
Yeah, we do. I'll go see it again probably this weekend.
So before we wrap up, let me just give everybody some comic book recommendations. If you really like the movie, there's some really good comic books you can go check out right now. Number one, I would go run out and pick it up right now because there's only 2 issues. In fact, I think that the next issue comes out this week. It's Chip Zdarsky's Spectacular Spider-Man. And it's still kind of in the, like, Peter's an adult, so it's not when he's a kid.
Okay.
But it's written in the same vein as the movie, where it's very, like, fast-paced, it's very funny, it's very humorous, not like the current Dan Slott run, which is very kind of, like, serious and earnest. Mm-hmm. It still is very Spider-Man, has its moments, but it's more like Spider-Man, Iron Man, because he's, like, Peter Parker, and he has, like, Parker, someone's mad. She's not like that recommendation. It's more like Parker Industries, and, like, there's not, like, a lot of Spider-Manning going on. There's a lot of like industry talk and all that jazz, which is not very Spider-Man-y, not very much like the movie. But so if you want something that's like the movie, go get Chip Zdarsky's run. Go pick up old Spider-Man comics, some older runs from like Straczynski, I think would be a good choice. Of course, McFarlane's runs are always a good choice. So there's some great Spider-Man comics out there that I would recommend picking up. Spider-Man No More. But specifically, like I said, if you want something that's fun and light like this one, I would just go run out and get Spectacular Spider-Man. It's on issue 2. I think it's out next this week. And I think it's a perfect kind of like companion to the movie.
Excellent. Excelente, senor. I was gonna pick your brain about good Spider-Man titles, so thank you for that, sir.
You know my favorite is Superior Spider-Man, but that has nothing to do with this movie.
Yes. It's okay, man. Just throw it out there. If you want expanded Spider-Man,
if you want the best to read, what in my opinion is one of the better Spider-Man stories ever, it's Superior Spider-Man, and that's the whole. I think it's like what it ended up being like something like 50 issues or something crazy, but I would start from Go and just read the Death of Spider-Man and then pick it up and read Superior Spider-Man, where basically Dr. Octopus becomes Spider-Man. It's so fucking good. And has so many great Peter Parker kind of moments that are so essential to that character and what makes him cool. And then it has the opposite of those moments as as Dr. Octopus kind of tries to relive the Spider-Man mythos as he like inhabits Peter's body. It's really well written and it's a lot of fun, but I can't recommend it enough.
What
Spider-Man's awesome, everybody.
Yes, he is. Go Spider-Man. Go Spider-Man Homecoming. All right. Speaking of comics, I'll just go real quick. What I read. I don't think I've talked about these since the last time. I don't think I got a chance to. Darth Vader #2. Have you been reading the Darth Vader, the new Vaders, Casey?
I have.
Have they come out with issue 3 already? Because I think I'm behind. I'm on issue 2.
I don't think so.
Okay, so we're still on issue 2. Vader is on his quest to find any remaining Jedi, because under the new Star Wars canon explanation as to why sabers are red, he has to basically take the saber of a Jedi he's defeated and corrupt the crystal until it bleeds, which I'm still not a fan of this fucking story. I think it's stupid. But anyways, so Vader's on the hunt, and one of the last known Jedis is a guy who just, I don't know, man. He looks like an old school like samurai master, kind of badass, scarred on his chest. You know, he's got the white beard with the top knot, and he just looks ridiculous. Like, this guy's just, they're gonna have an all-out brawl in the next issue. I'm excited.
There's
about
no way that's who he gets his fucking crystal from. Who do you think he gets it from?
That guy looks like he could take Vader. I feel like it. Vader in this state, anyways. This is like new Vader, you know, just, you know, barely in the machine suit, still doesn't have a saber yet. So I think
who do you think he gets it from? Do you think he gets it from that guy? Do you think it's from somebody else? Do you think it's from somebody we know?
I mean, I think that, to me, it looks like they're setting up like he's going to get it from this guy. I think.
Really? Yeah, I was hoping it'd be someone that was more like connected to him or Luke or someone else in some way, and not just some rando Jedi that's not really a Jedi. That like
it's a new Jedi that they created for this story.
Well, he's not a Jedi, right? He's like a Jedi in self-exile. Like, he's a Force user, but he doesn't want to be a Jedi because he doesn't want to follow their dumb rules, which I totally respect, by the way.
Like, he's not a gray Jedi. I hate that fucking term so much.
No, he's not. He's a Jedi that's just like, I want to fight people. I don't want to like sit here and like meditate. Like, he's a fighter.
Deal with politics.
Yeah, he's a warrior. So he self-exiled himself.
Yes. I'm kind of digging this new run. What do you think about it?
The new Darth Vader run? Like I said, I like it a lot. I like the filler in issues. I do wish, though, at some point we just kind of moved past the original trilogy.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, we've done this stuff. Let's, like, I want to see either go way super in the past, like hundreds, maybe thousands of years in the past where we don't know anybody, or go way into the future and see what the ramifications have been after, like the movie, the Return of the Jedi or whatever. I just feel like we're spending way too much time in these these middle zones that they're gonna quickly like fill up space for, and they're not gonna have any more stories to tell because every second is gonna be accounted for after the first Death Star blows up, or after the end of whatever. What's the bad one?
Who the bad which one?
The bad movies. Not Return of the Jedi. Revenge of the
trilogy.
Sith. Yeah. After Revenge of the Sith.
Okay. You don't like that, huh, man?
Yeah.
It's all right, buddy. It's all right. The other thing I'm reading is Invincible Iron Man by Bendis. More of the Iron Heart Riri Williams saga. Her dealing with her popularity as an Iron Avenger. Her trying to learn her place in the whole superhero universe. Things that she should and shouldn't do, and also some encouragement to kind of go above the law from Sharon Carter and just go freaking straight for the person that is now in charge of Latveria and calling the shots there. And,
does CPS not exist in the Marvel universe?
Well, I think
because between this and Spider-Man Homecoming, like I feel like Child Protective Services should like step in somewhere. Be like,
there's a lot of children in some very dangerous situations that are not
putting these teenagers in danger. Maybe we shouldn't let a teenager operate a $1 billion nuclear reactor suit.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know. It's a thought.
They're doing it anyways, man, and it makes for a good story. So maybe Stark is just paying them off. He's like, just here's some money. Just kind of look the other way.
So are you looking forward to Legacy then, when Tony comes back and him and Riri are gonna like team up and do something cool together?
I think it'd be cool. I kind of like their banter already, so I want to see how it happens when he's real. How are they bringing him back though?
I don't fucking
know. Did he not die?
He's not dead.
Not die, and he's
like in a cyber coma.
Yeah, he's like he's like Johnny Depp in Transcendence right now.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I don't like though how they made him drunk. Like, does he always have to be drunk? Is he drunk in Infamous too?
In the one I'm reading right now, or the other one?
In Infamous, in Iron Man, or I'm sorry, which one are you reading? Invincible. Is he drunk?
Yeah.
Because in Secret Wars,
no, he's not drunk because he's an AI in Invincible.
No, but I'm saying in Secret Wars, like he's still the AI, and it's a Secret Empire, he's the AI or whatever. Yeah. But he's drunk all the time because like there's something weird with the AI where it like makes him appear like he's drunk.
I don't get that from this one, so I don't know. Maybe he's just drunken miscreant.
And all that shit up anyways, and fucking go back to something normal.
Yeah, yeah.
So wait, are you reading? So is she gonna cross paths with Infamous Iron Man?
I don't know, man. I'm not reading the other one right now.
I heard that's really good.
Dr. Doom's and all them, right? Yeah, I should catch up on that too, man. But what have you read, sir, before we close up?
Oh, I've read so much. I read about something that I can't talk about, but I just love it so much, and I just want to promote the shit of it because Scott Snyder has become a kind of a friend of the site, I guess. We talk to him once a month, and Darren talks to him almost weekly. So cool. I want to promote his work. So DC Metal is coming out next month in August, but the casting comes out tomorrow. Dark Days, the casting, which is like kind of like a prequel series. And I've read it. It's fantastic. It's so steeped in like DC lore. It's a lot of fun. I just cannot wait for DC Metal. In fact, I encourage you to check it out when we get it in, because it's going to be just a blast of like hardcore DC action. It's going to be so much fun. So looking forward to that. And that issue comes out tomorrow. The casting comes out tomorrow, and like I said, it's just kind of it's starting to amp up that metal story and like the invasion of like this dark multiverse and all these like evil Batman, which looks super fun. What else have I been reading? The Batman, the War of Jokes and Riddles is happening right now. So it's basically Batman versus the Riddler versus Joker. It's fucking great. Maybe one of my 0 Year is probably my favorite Riddler story. This could be up there. There's a scene in issue 1. I don't think I talked about it on this podcast. I know I talked about it somewhere, but I don't know if it was this podcast, where he is able to escape prison in a way that's so fucking badass. Riddler-ness. I loved it and read it a couple of times because I'm like, this is so cool. Like, I really hope to see it in a movie. They're gonna steal it for a movie. I know they are. Like, he basically has this moment where like he's like in an interrogation room. Yeah. And they're like, you have no way of getting out of here. Like we've made like you're not escaping this time. And he's like, why do you think I've been so cooperative with everybody? Like, why do you think I've been so happy to help everyone? And you know what the only thing I ever asked for anybody was? Information. The only thing I ever wanted to know was like who, like if someone was married or if they had kids or this or that. So this moment could come when I could tell you that you let me walk out that door right now or all your families are dead. So he like walks out. He just walks out of the prison because like he has like all their families and stuff under surveillance, and like it's just such like a cool like Riddler moment where like he set up this puzzle, put the final piece down, and was like, I'm fucking done with you all. I'm walking out of here, and it just like shows that he's the smartest man in the room. And then there's this other like kind of arc where Joker can't laugh, like nothing is funny to him anymore. Wow. So like he's having this moment where like does he finally need to kill Batman to make himself laugh? Sure. And so like he's like kind of butting heads with the Riddler. It's really great. I can't think of the artist right now. I want to say it's David Finch, but I could be wrong. But the art on it is tremendous. It's really fantastic. So I really recommend picking that up. Tom King has been kind of hit and miss in the Batman department, but this arc has been fantastic. Also in the Batman front, All-Star Batman's ending. If you haven't picked that up, make sure you grab it. It's been amazing. It's from Scott Snyder as well.
Yes, the Snyders. Very cool, buddy. All right, sir. That's a good spot to wrap. Before we close out, sir, I want to promote a little review I just got posted up last night. My review of the Star-Lord jacket from our friends over at Hub of Leather. A beautiful everyday wear / cosplay / just look cool for the hell of it coat. And I really enjoyed reviewing and wearing that thing. It's awesome. I'm gonna be wearing that thing out. So
do not mean to shit on your commercial, but
yes,
with a name like a website like Hub of Leather, Wet Leather, what kind of dominatrix traffic do they do? It's got to be like 80%, right?
I'm sure they do, man. I'm sure there's people like, wait a minute, I can't get any bondage straps here. What the heck?
Is there a Dom section?
I don't think so. It's all super.
You need to email them and be like, listen, we were talking on the podcast.
Yes.
And we think you would really kill in the dominatrix demographic. Now, hear me out.
Yes, throw some spiked collars in there. Hey, if you want a superhero theme, that's fine. Just go for it. Just make it happen. You get a killing it. But yeah, that's it for me, buddy. Why don't you tell our listeners what they should be checking out every week, man, every day.
Oh man, so you guys should always be going to thegww.com for the latest in news, reviews, editorials, and podcasts. Stuff is going up, like Will said, every hour of every day. Always something new. We got a lot of Star Wars stuff going up there right now. Writer, contributor Jay Sandland has put out some great Star Wars debates with other Star Wars fans. Some great Star Wars theories. One about 000, Will, who I know you're a fan of. So check those out. We do have a Spider-Man Homecoming review on the site. We also have a War of the Planet of the Apes review on the site, which comes out Friday, right, Will? And I believe we gave a 9.5, another great movie that you guys should go see.
Yeah.
And we're running an awesome contest right now. So if you're listening to this, please visit the site. It's on the front page. We're giving away I believe a starter pack and expansion pack for the card game. It's called Boss Master. And basically what it is, it's like a card game you play with your friends, but you create like a side-scrolling dungeon, and you're like the dungeon master, or like the boss at the end, and like different like characters have to come and try to defeat you. And you like make traps for them and stuff. And it's really fun. It's really easy. It's a really great kind of a beginning tabletop game for like any tabletop gamers out there. So make sure you guys check that out and enter to win it on our site.
Beautiful, sir. Sounds like a fun game, man.
I'm like, after reading the article and like 100 times, because that's what I have to do as a editor-in-chief, I was like, oh, I really should check this out, because we've been playing the Oregon Trail game in our house.
Yeah.
Funny story, by the way, I have to tell this. So my daughter, we played Oregon Trail, I think twice, maybe 2 or 3 times. So last week, my mother-in-law went to Oregon. We're just going to Oregon, right? So she goes, we're going to Oregon. So if you guys need anything, just let us know. Or make sure you check on the house. She goes, and my daughter goes, are you guys going on the Oregon Trail? And she goes, yeah, I guess. She goes, make sure you don't get dysentery. And we all just about died. So if anyone is from Oregon Trail is listening to this, you guys should really think about rebooting that game, because I think you'd find another audience in the young youth of America, because they seem to really enjoy dying from dysentery and snake bites.
Yes. Snake bites. And God, man, like it's all come full circle. Like that shit was popular when we were in elementary school, man.
Yeah, like I said, it was so funny because she just kind of pulled it out of her ass. Like you were able to put that 2 and 2 together. Number one, that you knew what dysentery was, and that it would cause somebody harm. It was a very like sweet moment. I wish it caught on film.
That's beautiful, man. Well, buddy, thank you. It's good talking to you. Good having you back on the show. As always, peoples, keep checking us out on the Twitters. Our main Twitter is at @the_GWW. You can check our specific Twitter out at Capes Crew, and you can find me on Twitter at Dar Sparrow. We're always putting up some awesome geeky things, posts, conversations, arguments, you name it, we're throwing it up there. So thank you for your support. We hope you enjoyed the show tonight, and as always, for the whole crew, we'll catch you on the geek side.